Listen to me. You want to be great. You want to be successful. Then it all starts with one thing: belief. Not the kind you say just to sound good, but the kind that's deep in your soul. The kind that wakes you up at 4 a.m. when everybody else is sleeping. The kind that tells you, I got this, even when the world says, you don't. See, most people fail before they even start, not because they're not talented, not because they don't have the resources, but because they don't believe they can do it. If you don't believe in you, why should anybody else? I'm telling you right now, the biggest battle you will ever fight is not out there, it's inside you. That little voice in your head telling you, you're not good enough, you gotta shut it down. You gotta tell yourself, I am built for this. I am stronger than my fears. I am a winner. Because the moment you believe, really believe, you become unstoppable. So tell me, do you believe in you? Self-belief is the foundation of every great achievement. It's the unseen force that drives individuals to push beyond their limits, take risks, and persist when everything seems to be against them. Before success manifests in reality, it must first take root in the mind. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up often comes down to whether they truly believe they can achieve what they set out to do. Every great innovator, athlete, entrepreneur, and leader started with nothing but a belief in themselves. They didn't wait for proof. They didn't wait for others to validate them. They simply decided that their vision was possible and acted accordingly. This is the power of self-belief. It allows individuals to see beyond their current circumstances and into a future they are determined to create. Without belief, even the most talented person will hesitate, doubt themselves, and ultimately fall short of their potential. When a person believes in themselves, their actions follow suit. They take bigger risks, embrace challenges, and persist through difficulties. This is because their mindset is wired to see obstacles as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Those who lack self-belief, on the other hand, often sabotage themselves before they even start. They hesitate, procrastinate, and second-guess every decision, leading to missed opportunities and stagnation. The mind is a battlefield, and self-doubt is the enemy. If a person constantly tells themselves that they are not good enough, that they will fail, or that they don't have what it takes, their actions will reflect that negativity. They won't give their full effort, they will hesitate in key moments, and they will eventually prove themselves right by failing. But the opposite is also true. When someone repeatedly affirms their belief in themselves, their subconscious mind begins to accept it as fact. This belief then influences their decisions, actions, and ultimately their results. Many people wait for external validation before they start believing in themselves. They look for approval from family, friends, or society before they take a step toward their goals, but waiting for validation is a losing game. If belief is dependent on outside opinions, then it will be fragile and inconsistent. True self-belief comes from within. It's a decision a person makes regardless of what others think. Some of the greatest success stories in history built on nothing but belief. When Thomas Edison was told he had failed thousands of times in creating the light bulb, he didn't see it as failure, he saw it as learning. He believed so strongly in his vision that he kept going until he succeeded. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school basketball team, but he didn't let that define him. He used it as fuel to push himself harder because he believed in his ability. Self-belief also changes how a person responds to failure. Those who lack belief see failure as confirmation that they were never good enough to begin with. They take it personally and allow it to destroy their confidence. But those who believe in themselves see failure as feedback. They learn from their mistakes, make adjustments, and come back stronger. This is why so many successful people talk about failing repeatedly before they finally broke through. Their belief never wavered, so they kept going. A person's belief system is built over time through experiences, influences, and self-talk. Many people are conditioned from a young age to doubt themselves. They are told to be realistic, to play it safe, or to lower their expectations. Over time, these messages shape their mindset, making them afraid to dream big or take risks. But just as negative beliefs are learned, they can also be unlearned. By intentionally surrounding themselves with positivity, challenging negative thoughts, and taking consistent action, anyone can rewire their mindset for success. The world rewards those who believe in themselves. Confidence attracts opportunities. When a person walks into a room with certainty, people notice. When they speak with conviction, others listen. When they take bold action, doors open. This is why belief must come before achievement. It is not just about having skills or talent, it is about having the courage to use them. Self-doubt is one of the biggest obstacles standing between people and their goals. It is the small voice in the back of the mind that whispers, "You're not good enough," "You're not ready," or "What if you fail?" It's the constant questioning that keeps people stuck in their comfort zones, afraid to take action. The problem is not that people lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity. The problem is that they allow self-doubt to dictate their actions. Those who learn to silence that inner doubt unlock their true potential and step into a level of success they never imagined possible. Doubt is not something people are born with, it is something that is learned over time. As children, people believe they can do anything. They dream big without questioning whether their dreams are realistic. They attempt new things without worrying about failure. But as they grow older, they start absorbing the fears and limitations of the world around them. They hear others say, "That's too risky," "Be realistic," or "What if you fail?" These words begin to take root in their minds, shaping how they see themselves and what they believe is possible. Over time, these doubts become internalized, and they start believing the negative thought as if they are absolute truth. Mind is incredibly powerful, and it listens to everything it is told, especially when it comes from within. If someone constantly tells themselves that they are not capable, their brain will look for evidence to support that belief. They will remember past failures, exaggerate their weaknesses, and downplay their strengths. On the other hand, if they intentionally tell themselves that they are capable, that they can figure things out, and that they deserve success, their brain will begin to support that belief as well. This is why silencing inner doubt is so important. The words repeated in the mind eventually become reality. One of the biggest problems with self-doubt is that it makes people hesitate. It creates an internal tug-of-war between wanting something and fearing that they are not good enough to achieve it. This hesitation leads to missed opportunities, procrastination, and playing it safe instead of taking the necessary risks to grow. Those who achieve great things in life do not do so because they never had doubts. They do so because they refused to let doubt control them. They felt the fear and moved forward anyway. Self-doubt is sneaky. It does not always appear as outright negativity. Sometimes it disguises itself as perfectionism. People tell themselves they need more time to prepare. that they need more experience, or that they will start once everything is just right. But perfectionism is often just self-doubt in disguise. It is an excuse to delay action out of fear of failure. The truth is, no one ever feels fully ready for big opportunities. Growth comes from stepping into the unknown and trusting that the ability to succeed will develop along the way. Another way self-doubt holds people back is by making them overly concerned with the opinions of others. Many people never chase their dreams because they are afraid of being judged. They worry about what their family, friends, or society will think if they fail. This fear keeps them trapped in a cycle of playing small, choosing safety over ambition, and suppressing their true potential. But the reality is, people are going to have opinions no matter what. Some will support, some will criticize, but none of it matters if a person is confident in themselves. The only opinion that truly matters is the one a person holds about themselves. Silencing inner doubt requires a conscious effort to change the way the mind operates. It starts with recognizing that just because a thought exists does not mean it is true. People must challenge their doubts instead of accepting them as reality. Every time a negative thought appears, they must counter it with logic and evidence of their strengths. Instead of thinking, "I can't do this," they must ask, "Why not me?" Instead of dwelling on past failures, they must focus on what they have learned and how much stronger they have become. Taking action is one of the most powerful ways to silence self-doubt. The longer a person hesitates, the louder their doubts become. But the moment they take a step forward, they prove to themselves that they are capable. Confidence is built through action, not overthinking. The more someone acts in spite of their fears, the quieter their doubts become. This is why successful people are not necessarily the ones who never feel doubt, but the ones who take action despite it. Acting like success is already inevitable is one of the most powerful mindset shifts a person can make. It means carrying oneself with confidence, making decisions with certainty, and showing up every day as if the goal is already accomplished. This approach is not about arrogance or pretending to be something one is not. It is about embodying the mindset, habits, and behaviors of a successful person before the external results appear. When an individual truly believes in their own success, their actions align with that belief, and the results begin to follow. Many people wait until they see success before they start believing in themselves. They think they need validation, proof, or external achievements before they can feel confident. But this is the opposite of how success actually works. The belief must come first. Those who act like their success is inevitable are waiting for permission to be great. They are already moving, speaking, and making decisions like the person they aspire to become. They carry themselves differently, and because of that, people start to take them seriously. The way a person presents themselves to the world has a direct impact on how others perceive them. When someone exudes confidence, people naturally respect them, listen to them, and believe in their abilities. On the other hand, when someone is unsure of themselves, hesitant, or constantly second-guessing their choices, it shows. People pick up on that energy and respond accordingly. This is why those who act like they belong in the room are often the ones who get the opportunities. Success is not just about talent or skills. It is also about how a person carries themselves. Another important aspect of acting like success is inevitable is decision-making. People who see themselves as future winners make bold choices. They do not play small, hesitate, or let fear dictate their path. They make decisions based on where they want to be, not where they currently are. Instead of saying, "I'll wait until I have more experience," they say, "I'll gain experience by taking action now." Instead of saying, "I'll start when I feel ready," they say, "I'll start and figure it out along the way." This shift in decision-making leads to massive growth and opportunities that would never come from waiting for the perfect moment. Visualization, a key tool in developing this mindset. Many of the most successful people in the world, from athletes to entrepreneurs, use visualization techniques to mentally place themselves in the position they want to be in. They see themselves winning, achieving their goals, and handling challenges with confidence. This mental rehearsal trains the brain to accept success as reality. When the mind is already familiar with the idea of winning, the body follows through with actions that support that vision. This is why elite athletes visualize themselves crossing the finish line before the race even starts. They have already won in their minds. So, when the time comes, they perform accordingly. Acting like success is inevitable also means developing the habits of successful people before seeing external rewards. Too many people wait for motivation or results before committing to the work. They tell themselves, "I'll start working harder once I see progress," or "I'll be more disciplined when I have more opportunities." But successful people do the opposite. They build the habits first, and the results follow. They wake up early, put in the work, and remain consistent even when no one is watching. They show up every day with the mindset of someone who has already made it. This approach also applies to handling setbacks. When someone believes their success is inevitable, failure does not shake them. They do not see challenges as signs that they should quit. They see them as part of the journey. Instead of saying, "Maybe I'm not meant for this," they say, "This is just a temporary obstacle." Their belief in themselves keeps them moving forward, no matter how difficult things get. They understand that success is not about never failing, it is about refusing to give up. One of the biggest benefits of acting like success is already guaranteed is the way it influences other people. Confidence is contagious. When someone truly believes in themselves, they inspire others to believe in them too. Opportunities start appearing, doors begin to open, and people start offering support. Success is not just about working hard, it is also about attracting the right people and circumstances. The world responds to those who act like they belong. The people we surround ourselves with have a profound impact on our mindset, motivation, and ultimately, our success. Environment plays a crucial role in shaping beliefs, behaviors, and decisions. When a person is surrounded by those who uplift, encourage, and challenge them to grow, they naturally begin to adopt a stronger mindset. On the other hand, when they are surrounded by negativity, doubt, and people who do not believe in big dreams, it becomes much harder to stay motivated and push forward. The truth is, no matter how strong an individual is, they are constantly influenced by the energy and mindset of those around them. Successful people understand that they must be intentional about their environment. They do not leave it to chance. They actively seek out people who inspire them, push them beyond their limits, and challenge them to think bigger. They find mentors, surround themselves with high achievers, and stay in spaces where growth is the standard. This is because they know that in order to elevate their life, they must elevate their circle. It is impossible to maintain a mindset of self-belief while constantly engaging with people who do not share that same level of confidence and ambitious energy of those we spend time with is contagious. If someone is constantly around people who complain, doubt themselves, and settle for less, it is only a matter of time before they start thinking the same way. Their conversations will shift from opportunities to obstacles, from solutions to problems, from action to excuses. This is why successful individuals guard their space carefully. They know that every interaction, every conversation, and every relationship is either lifting them up or pulling them down. Many people struggle to reach their full potential because they are afraid to outgrow their current circle. They feel guilty about distancing themselves from friends or family members who do not share their vision. But growth requires change. Staying in an environment that does not support ambition only leads to frustration and stagnation. It does not mean cutting people off completely, but it does mean setting boundaries and being mindful of how much influence certain individuals have over thoughts and actions. And of the most powerful things a person can do is actively seek out mentors and role models who have already achieved what they aspire to. Learning from those who have walked the path before provides insight, shortcuts, and the confidence that success is possible. Being around people who think big and take bold action makes those behaviors feel normal. What once seemed impossible suddenly becomes an expectation. This shift in perspective is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Another crucial aspect of surrounding oneself with believers is accountability. When someone is part of a strong circle, they are held to a higher standard. They are expected to follow through on their commitments, push through challenges, and take action even when they do not feel like it. Without accountability, it is easy to make excuses, procrastinate, or lower expectations. But when there are people around who challenge them to be better, they are far more likely to stay disciplined and focused on their goals. Digital world has made it easier than ever to be influenced by successful and driven people, even if they are not physically present. Books, podcasts, videos, and online communities provide access to some of the greatest minds in the world. There is no excuse to be stuck in an environment that does not support growth. With the right resources, anyone can build a virtual circle of mentors and inspiration that fuels their self-belief. Negativity and doubt are unavoidable in life, but they do not have to dominate one's mindset. When surrounded by believers, the impact of external negativity is minimized. Challenges become easier to navigate. Failures become lessons rather than setbacks, and confidence becomes uncheckable. This is because the right environment reinforces self-belief every single day. It reminds individuals of what is possible, pushes them to keep going, and keeps their vision alive even in the face of adversity. Choosing the right circle is one of the most important decisions a person can make. It determines whether they stay stuck in mediocrity or rise to their full potential. The most successful people in the world all have one thing in common: they surround themselves with other successful, driven, and self-believing individuals. They understand that growth is a collective effort and that success is built in an environment of support, challenge, and unwavering belief. Relentlessness is the defining trait of those who achieve greatness. It is the mindset that refuses to quit, no matter how many obstacles appear. It is the ability to keep pushing forward when others would have given up. Self-belief is not just about thinking positively, it is about proving that belief through consistent, determined action. Those who truly believe in themselves do not let temporary failures, setbacks, or challenges stop them. They keep going because they know that success is not a matter of luck, it is a matter of persistence. Many people start with big dreams, but few have the discipline to see them through. They begin with excitement, motivation, and energy, but when difficulties arise, their belief wavers. They question whether they are capable, whether they are on the right path, or whether they should continue at all. This is where relentlessness separates the successful from the average. The ones who truly believe in themselves do not entertain the idea of giving up. They understand that obstacles are part of the process, not signs to stop. The journey to success is never smooth. It is filled with failures, disappointments, and moments of doubt. But those who win are the ones who refuse to let those moments define them. They use every setback as fuel to push harder. They learn from their mistakes instead of letting them destroy their confidence. They view rejection not as a final answer, but as a challenge to improve and try again. This is the essence of relentlessness, the ability to keep moving forward no matter what. Most people fail not because they lack talent or ability, but because they stop too soon. They give up when things get hard. They let frustration and impatience convince them that their goal is out of reach. But every great success story is built on perseverance. The people who achieve their dreams are the ones who refuse to stop until they reach them. They do not wait for motivation to strike. They show up and do the work every single day, even when they do not feel like it. One of the biggest mistakes people make is expecting success to come quickly and easily. They believe that if they do not see results immediately, they must be doing something wrong. But real success is built over time, through consistent effort and relentless action. The greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders did not reach the top overnight. They spent years, sometimes decades, working toward their goals before they saw major breakthroughs. They stayed committed long after others had. Key to relentless mindset also means being willing to do what others will not. It means putting in extra hours, making sacrifices, and staying focused when distractions try to pull them off track. Many people want success, but few are willing to endure the discomfort and discipline it requires. Those who truly believe in themselves do not make excuses. They do not blame their circumstances. They take full responsibility for their success and do whatever it takes to make it happen. Doubt and fear are the biggest enemies of relentlessness. When things get tough, the mind naturally tries to find reasons to quit. It whispers, "Maybe this isn't for me," or "What if I fail?" But those who stay relentless recognize these thoughts for what they are: distractions. They refuse to give in to negativity. Instead, they remind themselves of their goals, their vision, and the reason they started in the first place. They know that as long as they keep going, success is inevitably. One of the most important traits of relentless people is their ability to adapt. They do not get stuck in one way of doing things. If something is not working, they adjust their strategy and try again. They see problems as opportunities to learn, not as reasons to quit. This flexibility allows them to keep moving forward even when things do not go as planned. They understand that success is a process of constant learning, growth, and evolution. There is no guarantee that the journey will be easy, but those who refuse to quit are always the ones who make it in the end. They push through rejection, failure, and frustration because they know that every step forward brings them closer to their goal. They are driven by unshakable belief in themselves, and they back up that belief with relentless action, no matter how long it takes, no matter how many times they fall. They always get back up and keep going.